Very cool, Mr. Antoine. You're a little DJ, yeah?
Are you tired of biased presentations that show you only one side of a story? Do you want to go to the bottom of all the hot water and wastewater challenges? Every month, Björn and Antoine take sides and fight over a topic. They might be over the top. You may even disagree with one or both of them, but you'll always have a chance to be vocal about it. In the end, one thing is certain. They will light a topic from every angle to make sure it is in plain sight for everyone. Are you ready to rumble? It's time for Wastewater! Hi everyone, welcome to the show. You might have noticed something a bit different from last time. We are no longer on Zoom, of course, we are on YouTube, but still we will have some fight with Björn. Hi Björn, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine as always. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm ready to have an interesting discussion with you. Actually, before going into the topic, I would propose you just to share some housekeeping. So we have a chat on YouTube. We can collect that chat and discuss with you. If there's anything that you say which is very interesting in that chat, we can take it on stage. Like, you know, I take now what Rick just wrote us. Greetings from Lausanne. Hi, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
We take it like that, exactly, on the show, and that's also, you know, for our last part of the discussion where we bring you in just to see who won. If it was Björn or me, we all know it's going to be me, but still, it's your chance. Something here which is very interesting to mention as well. We spiced a bit the rules compared to episode 1 and episode 2. We have a new card which is called the Joker card. Each of us have 3 Joker cards which we can play at whatever time. And one of these Joker cards is call a friend. So basically, one of you writes something in the chat which goes really into my sense or what Björn would like to share. And we can say, hey, wait, I'll play that Joker card. We take you on stage in the sense that we read your message in the chat and you help one of both sides with your best argument. So you can be a part of that. And we are really looking forward what you think of the topic. But now, speaking of the topic, let me switch to you, Björn, because you're always the one that synthesizes that in the best possible way. So I'll let you do the introduction. What are we discussing today?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Antoine, and also very warm welcome from my end here from Germany. You played a little bit the nasty tricks directly in the beginning, right? You said, hey, you always won, but it is not the case. But let's come to the topic, because I think viewers can always decide. The topic today, what we decided or wanted to talk about, is why we should close all our wastewater treatment plants. And what we mean with that is very simple. I'm not saying that we close everything and bring it back to the sewer or to the river as some decades ago. What we mean, or what I mean with that, and that's my point, I would like to combine industrial and municipalities together to have bigger facilities. And I tell you why. Actually, we have just in Germany, we have around 10,000 industrial wastewater treatment plants just in Germany. In addition to that, we have another 8,000 municipalities, plus minus. So we are talking about 30 million population equivalent, which needs to be treated daily. It's a huge amount, right? The sizes from the plants are total various. So it could be very small up to very big ones. But even the competences and the technologies which are used are the same way. They are vary from small to big. So, but every businessman knows if you want to get your costs down, you have to scale up your production. But this simple rule, this simple math, we don't respect, right? So we put thousands of plants into our landscape for each and every community. In addition to that, we put thousands of industrial plants without thinking about this. So that means that we increase for our own. Personally, I pay a lot of money for my wastewater. And to give you some numbers, the leader in Germany and in Europe is Austria. In Austria, they pay around 182 euros per person per year for treating the wastewater. Central Europe, like Germany, England, France, are somehow in the same level, which is about 140 euro per person per year. But what does it mean? With a scale effect, right? We could either reduce the cost, so my personal money, right? Or we could now put the money and take the money and increase with better technologies, the wastewater treatment system, to equip them to fulfill the requirements we have in the 21st century where we are right now.
Okay.
I'm still not done with my introduction, my friend. Give me the time. Your time will come.
You're cheating.
No. As a simple example, how many municipalities are equipped with something to treat microplastic? Just some, right? But not all, but not many. Especially if I think about 8,000 municipalities in Germany, not many. A centralized system for municipalities and industrial would have lots of benefits. Think about that all municipalities just in Germany need so much power, in total 4,400 gigawatt an hour. Think about this number. This is an amount of one single power plant. So that means all facilities need one power plant. Think about the scale effect, how we could reduce the cost. Think about the energy sector. In a country like Germany, we have 676 power plants to produce the power. Don't name me, I know that is not enough. But compared to the number, we have around 20,000 wastewater treatment plants, and same time we have a liberalized system in our energy sector, right? Some years ago we did this with a lot of good benefits, but this is even not thinkable for the water industry. And that's why I think, and I'm coming now to my end, my friend, that's why I think it would have huge benefits if we put everything together, if we would have a centralized system. The infrastructure is already given. Think about all the industrial parks. Think about the big industrial parks we already have. We just have to scale that up a little bit to even that they treat the municipality wastewater, because only then we can think about one thing. I mean, we have the wastewater, and we should start putting the wastewater finally into a resource water. Yes, I have stolen the sentences this week, but this is exactly the key. We need resource water and no longer wastewater, and this we're given if we have a system like this. Finally, this thesis is not about a centralized, decentralized system if you are not equipped to the canalization. If you are not equipped like countries like, I don't know, Romania, where you have a rate of 50%, which is only connected to the sewer, for sure there you need some kind of decentralized system. This is not the topic I want to tell, right? I think this problem has to be solved in a different way. What I really mean is put everything together, scale up, reduce the cost, and to bring the wastewater into the 21st century. That's it. I think everything is clear and we can close right now, right? Antoine,
Yeah,
any questions? No.
that's how you saw that. You made like an editorial of 10 minutes. Like you give all your arguments, but still from the very beginning.
No. Believe me, I have something more. I have definitely something more.
Well, I have a first question for you, Björn. You start with that argument by saying that it's a scale effect, that you can just make everything bigger and it's going to be cheaper. What makes you think that that is even remotely true? I mean, if you go to a chef restaurant and they come and they take a big blender, a big mixer, they put everything they have inside. I mean, fine oysters, foie gras, then nice bread, garlic, everything. They put everything in the mixer, they mix it in front of you and they serve it to you. I doubt you would like that. I doubt you would even eat it. And you are saying, let's take all those streams, which are very various, which have very different compounds inside, which are nicely separated. Let's blend all together and we have a scale effect if we treat that. Well, to me, that is simply wrong. That's not, I don't see why that would be even remotely, hardly a part of it would be true. So, sorry. So that's my first answer to your long explanation. The second thing is,
okay,
you are considering that the infrastructure is existing. But you know what? Let me play my first Joker card straight away.
Oh, come on. After 10 minutes, the first Joker card. Okay, yeah. You have very weak arguments today.
Joker card.
So, my first Joker card is the following. I have 4 questions for you. And you've given all the numbers, so I'm absolutely sure you have the answer.
Okay.
First question, how many people in Europe don't have access to drinking water services?
To drinking, or are we talking about drinking or about sewage?
Drinking water, so no access at all to any network, any water-related network.
I don't know, but what I have is I have the numbers who are not connected to the sewer. So if I take similar numbers which are not connected to the drinking water, then I'm more or less in Eastern Europe. There I have seen numbers from Romania, Serbia, and so on, which have just a connection of 50% and even less. So that means, what is the population of Europe? I think, don't name it, 350 million? 5%? 10%?
You're not that wrong. It's 16 million people. So you see, good reasoning.
Easy.
You actually mentioned it. There's some places, even in Europe, I'm giving Europe because everybody knows the infamous number of the 2.2 billion people that don't have access to drinking water worldwide. But usually people forget that there are like countries where you would expect it to be a given and it's not a given. So I'm not asking you the second question, which was about the sewers, because you gave it. But Europe-wide, you mentioned Eastern Europe, but Europe-wide, I'll give it to you. It's 27% of people which are not connected to a sewer. Now, I have a question. According to you, now worldwide, what would be the cost of the total investment we shall do in our infrastructure to just cover everyone and their needs the way we do it today, which is a centralized way?
I don't know. I can't tell you the number. The only number I can tell you is that we have an investment delay into municipalities just in Germany by 70 billion euros.
So you've been into politics, Björn. You take
This
the question,
is-
you answer with another question. That's a good one. No, good technique. But actually, the number is
I have learned from you. I've learned from you.
okay, fair. $3 trillion every year. That's what we should spend if we would want to go with a centralized system. And now my last question: what is the ratio if you want to invest these $3 trillion to cover everyone and to give everyone that right, which is the access to water and wastewater? What is the ratio between centralized investment and decentralized investment? How much more do you have to pay to connect the people which are remote compared to the people which are central?
I don't know.
I'll give you the answer.
No clue.
Basically, it's
No
4
clue.
times. Basically, you have
4 times?
90% of the people who live in those central areas, but to cope for this 90%, it will cost you 4 times less than for the distributed people, who will be then 4 times more, even if they are only 10%. So what I want to highlight here with that first Joker card is that first, it's not a given that the infrastructure is existing. Second, it is, even if the infrastructure is existing, it has a huge cost just to renew it and to keep it up to date. And third, why shall we invest that huge amount of money for pumping stations, for networks, when we can do it locally much more efficiently?
Oh. Okay. Nice Joker card, but I think it didn't went well for you right at the moment. Let's take an example. Let's take a simple example. Let's take a city like Berlin. You know Berlin, not as big as Paris, but let's say at least you should know. Berlin has a population of 3.5 million. And there we are flushing the pipes every day with 550,000 cubic meters. 550,000 cubic meters every day. Sounds much, right? But it isn't. The point is, 15 years back, it was double. So it was around 1 million. So 1 million cubic meter wastewater was flushed through the pipes. So the result is the network, which is still given, which was engineered, even the municipality was engineered for way more wastewater, which is not given, and we use portable to flush pipes. It's a huge amount of money, what we need just to flush the pipes. That's an incredible number. And it is a paradox that we are living in a very rich country from the point of rain. It was raining the whole day. Here where I live, cats and dogs. So we have so much water, but we pay so high prices. That means we are forced to reduce our water consumption to a level that the municipalities, I'm talking about the public municipalities, are having no longer the waste they really need. So it costs a lot of money. Why shouldn't we bring this to a centralized facility which is equipped to the right number? Or does it make for you sense that we pay with drinking water, my friend Antoine, even in France, that we pay drinking water to flush pipes? Makes no sense, right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So what you're saying is the way we do it today is not a good way. So on that, I think we agree. Where we disagree is that you take that and you say, let's put even more centralized, even more. And what I'm saying is that you're calling it wastewater. It's all the time wastewater, wastewater, wastewater. But who said it's wastewater? I mean, it's
no. I want to make resource water out of the wastewater. And I give you one more thing. What happened right now? I want to bring it on a later stage, but I bring it right now. What happened is wastewater is cost. That is mostly the fact. So, and what the most industrial parks know, they can recover, they can reuse the wastewater, and they are reselling the produced water from the wastewater to their clients, to their rental companies who are in the park. On the other hand, we have the municipalities, and they have the business model that they are going to the industry and saying, you pay a fine if I don't have the quality I want to have, that we don't overload my system. It's a totally different business model that in the end results that the industry is forced to have their own small industrial wastewater treatment plant. Why not bring everything to the municipality at least, reuse it, and bring it back and resell it back to have a kind of resource water? But they are not equipped with that.
Right.
That means we need facilities who are able to handle this. The municipalities are, I mean, come on. Let's
Give me a chance here.
okay.
Why? You ask why not do that? I'll give you two reasons. First, why do you do that back and forth with the water? Why do you collect all that water, you send it by pumping a gravitary to the municipal plant, and then you send it back? Why do that? I mean, it's just a two ways with water, which is not needed at all. And second, I mean, you mentioned industrial. Let's take an industrial example. You have a food and beverage factory. That food and beverage factory has a high strength wastewater. That wastewater is full of sugar. You would take that sugar, you would water it down with the full amount of water from the municipal plant. It's going to be extremely difficult for conventional treatment to take that out, when you could have on-site put a treatment, let's say an anaerobic digester, which is treating that sugar, which is eating that sugar, which is turning it into gas, into energy, which is using 4 to 5 times less energy to treat that wastewater than it produces, and still delivers you water without having any kind of drop of water to send one way or the other to the utility. So I don't get why you insist that much on actually, I fully get why you want to send it to the utility and back. It's because you are looking at the water market as it was at the beginning of the 20th century. A place
has this changed? Has anything changed since that time?
There's something
please tell me. I mean, please tell me. Please tell me what has changed.
Automation. Automation is the big change. Before, you had to have a trained engineer next to each plant, because you needed to have that know-how, and that's the scale effect. And there, I'm fully with you. There, it might be a scale effect because not everyone can hire to have hired and trained engineers and technicians next to every plant. That's true. But nowadays, you could also build an automation, say on pH, flow, temperature, pressure, and have a very good loop, which is producing water as a service and treating your wastewater in the same go. So why do you need to bring everything central? And I conclude here by a very simple remark. You know, you're German. You should be into federal and liberal ways to. And I'm French. I should be into centralized stuff. Everything goes to Paris, and if we can collect all the water from France and treat it in a wastewater treatment plant in Paris, I'm happy. And we are arguing the exact opposite. So it's kind of weird when you think of it. But why does it need to be central? Just we had this. Our episode 1 was about micropollutants, right? That was micropollutants.
I think so. Yeah, you lost, right? Yeah.
That was micropollutants. Before being micropollutants are macropollutants. So basically, you could be going at the plant, doing a short loop treatment, take them out, and there's never nothing going to the wastewater and the municipal wastewater. Or you could go at the wastewater or the municipal wastewater plant, and here you have to do everything in a monster soup and bubble it out. And there were studies done in Switzerland, and they simply show there's a 100-to-1 ratio in terms of cost. If you can treat at the source every type of pollution and recirculate that water directly back as processed water, as even feed water, it's so much more efficient. So I still don't get why you want to have everything.
Don't worry, it takes some time, especially for you to get the point. I have realized this over the last episodes. Anyway, I got your point, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that for a country like Germany or France, we need just one facility. I still think that we need some more than just one. But I think, for instance, if I give you the number, I just recall it: 10,000 industrial, 8,000 municipalities. So I think we can reduce these numbers down if we bring this together. And I want to give you one example about innovation. Actually, our municipalities are mostly driven by public administration, and they are very driven by the politics. That means they are just looking for the legislation period, which is somehow 4 to 5 years. So that means they don't want to spend money for innovation, mostly because the results they don't get. So that means that with our municipalities, we are still, or let's say other way around, we are still using technologies we have implemented decades ago and nothing really has happened. Maybe we changed the beton where the wastewater is in because it's gone, right? But from the industrial sector point of view, there's a lot of innovation because they have a lot of complexity. They have different wastewater sources they have to want to reuse and things like this. So means they invest. So I'm bringing both together, and this is now I'm coming to the point. Bringing both together would have a lot of benefits, especially if you think about the challenges we have actually in the wastewater sector. I'm giving you 4 examples. What about micropollutants? What about microplastics? What about PFAS? What about sludge treatment? Do you really think with the given municipalities, with their technology, we will solve the issues we have over the next decades?
No, we won't.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I think it's clear.
And that's why we need to be treating much more at the source. You mentioned PFAS. What is PFAS? There is something which is burning. You pour some extinctor on that fire, and when you wash it off, you have PFAS. But why wash it off to the common sewer to everyone? Just treat it where it is, and you're done. Job done in a minute. And that is the important thing. I don't get actually why you don't get it. It's really mixing everything is not a solution. But I think here, I'm not sure we're going to agree on that one. So I propose you to move to another set of arguments. And
no problem. I will give you another one. I know that if that's always your solution, right? If you don't get an argument and you don't have a contra argument, that you're jumping to the next. Right? Okay, I got it. Meanwhile, I will give you another example. I mean, we have to make very sure, and we have to be very careful that we are not having a 2-class society. So, what does it mean? If I'm talking about municipalities, right? There are counties which are richer than the others, which comes due to the fact that they have a lot of industry. That means they had a lot of trade taxes, so they could invest even more than others which are not, let's say, have the industrial, does have the money. So there's just one guess. I gave you the number. I will recall again. There's an investment delay of 50 billion euros just in Germany for the municipal wastewater treatment plants. Do you really think? I mean, half of that is the piping, 1/4 is the construction, 1/4 is all the equipment. But do you really think this will change? We will, recover this number, or do we decrease the number? Do you really think this will happen? And do you really think the numbers in other countries would be so different?
Okay, I could be arguing against you, but I'm going to play.
You don't do
a second.
Another joker.
Card.
Joker card.
And actually, my Joker card is the call a friend, because I'm just reading what all our viewers are writing in the chat, and it's really awesome. I could have picked any of them, because right now, Björn, I'm sorry for you, but you're losing. Hey, this time it's facts. I can measure it. But let me bring that one, because I think it's an interesting one because it lights a different angle to the topic. It's from Found Systems Network, and he's asking if there is an equivalent to the Clean Water Act in the EU. Companies, manufacturers, etc., which are required to pre-treat their wastewater to acceptable quality prior to discharging it into sewer systems. The reason why I'm bringing that one up is the following. If every single industrial plant has already to pre-treat their wastewater, let's call it wastewater to cope with your way to name it, if they have to treat it anyways, you just have to enhance that a little bit, and then you can reuse, and you don't discharge anymore to the sewers. And I have seen it in the chat as well, but it's a Joker card. I don't play a double card, but someone else in the chat just mentioned that an industrial player knows exactly what he has put through his process into the water. So he's much better equipped to treat that out than any kind of centralized treatment system. So why don't you want to leverage that?
Why do we have, I got the point, and I think I mentioned this earlier. I think we should make wastewater to a resource. So we should make sure that we don't spend money for wastewater, that we get money for the resource water. And that's exactly my
Not talking
point.
of the resource here. I'm saying,
Yeah, but we have to get money for that.
Why not do the last 20% anyways?
No, I don't agree on that. Think about that. If we would have a centralized system, even then we would have the competence on one place. That's also one thing. So that means we would have the expertise for all kind of pre-treatment, biological treatment, separation, incineration, because everything is given on these kind of places. So because they are equipped, whatever comes in, whatever industrial comes with a new wastewater stream, that they are able to treat that. So that means they can resell also the water if they would like, right? Or they charge for the industrial and for the municipalities to bring the water to the facilities, to the bigger ones. So the point I'm saying is, on these places you can resell the wastewater, and then it becomes really a resource. Right now it is not really a resource because the water goes to the municipality and they treat that, and then it goes to the river. That makes principle no sense if you want to create some money out of this, right? I don't really get it. The point is, how can you make sure that you have also the competences, especially for the municipality sector, to get everything done? And now it comes to your third joker.
That's not even a joker. I mean, I don't see what I should say more than that. Sheldon, if you want to replace me.
It looks like that you're running out of arguments. That's why you bring in all the people right into our show. Okay, I got it.
No.
Let me play my joker card right now.
Okay.
Joker card.
Just very simple. I will ask you 7 questions, which you have to answer, similar as yours. But my rule is you can only answer with yes, you're right. Okay. I will give you a very simple example, just that you get it. Germany produces the best car in the world, even better than the cars from France. You got it right. You got the rules.
Yes, you're right.
Good, thank you. So a centralized wastewater treatment system has more advantages than disadvantages.
Yes, you're right.
The water industry is very conservative and must finally start to allow innovations.
Yes, you're right.
Exactly, right? So the proposal of a centralization for municipalities and industrial should be considered at least once.
Yes, you're right. Considered and turned down, but yes, you're right. Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right.
I think you got the rules, right? Please follow the rules, my friend. Question 5. We need more water and wastewater expertise, especially on the municipality level.
Yeah, yes, you're right.
The liberalization of the wastewater market would generate innovations, and it's therefore clearly to be strived for.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, there's no answer for that. There's no other answer. But the final one, Björn is always right.
Yes, you're right.
Thank you very much. You have done the joker. No, but
that's
let's say,
an unfair joker, Björn. I'll remind you that one next time.
You're always starting with nasty games, so let me play my nasty game as well. But let me give you, and let's come back a little bit to a serious point of view. Think about, at the moment we are just talking about the municipalities, right? let's have an eye on the industrial side. Especially the chemical industry is driven by batch processes. So that means it's a discontinuous process. That's why their wastewater treatment system is always, shocked by different by different flows with different levels, and it's very, very hard to adapt all the time the wastewater treatment system to their batch. We could avoid that if we would have a kind of centralized system which is already equipped with any kind of system where you can also buffer things like this. There it would be easier to handle kind of batch system. And the operational safety, which I think we agree is very, very important, would be definitely benefit from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'm not going to counter you too much here, just because everybody gets that I disagree with that, and just because the chat is disagreeing quite a lot with you. So let's park that. I mean, let's be fair and let's discuss that towards the end. There's one thing before we switch to the interaction with our audience, which I would like to bring, which is a bit different. We've talked a lot about techniques, and we see that we disagree. Even if I had to say yes, you're right on everything. I'm going to play here a Joker card, which is kind of a different.
How many do you have?
It's my third and last. So
Joker card.
it's cool and how it works. And by the way, I'm very proud because I'm a water professional and I'm part of that solution. So I'm very happy to show you how that works. And that brings something we can touch again, something which is tangible. We have this element of all of a sudden, there's no magic happening somewhere in the ground or somewhere outside the cities. Wastewater treatment is happening right there, and the water comes out and everybody gets that. It's not like, oh, yuck, wastewater, treated wastewater. No. You see it's just flowing. It is water. You see it used for gardening. You see it used to fill a water place, or you see it directly being reused. And you're confident into that system because you understand it. And that is what we can do if we switch all our centralized system into something which is very close to every user. I know when I explain it that way, it sounds like a dream, but I think we can do it step by step. We don't have to be as radical as you are and to say we close everything and we drive to even bigger plants. What I'm saying is that in all those places which have no access today to drinking water, which have no access today to sanitation, let's start there. There we can leapfrog. There's no legacy of existing infrastructure. You can, out of the blue, start there to build this kind of new deal, water new deal. And that is the big opportunity I think you're missing with your centralized approach and with your technical arguments.
I got your point, and I got the video, and which is very interesting. But I think your point isn't really against my one. Even in let's say in a bigger system, you could explain even more further than you could explain how you treat really the microplastic. If I go to my municipality, which is this way right now, and I would ask him, hey, can you show me how you treat microplastic? His answer would be, sorry, no, I can't. Can you tell me how you treat the micropollutants, please, or all the medicine and hormones here which come in? Can you show me? No. But in a centralized system, there you could do, because there you have much more capabilities. Anyway,
you could, but you would be spending 2 hours to enter the plant, because it would be a very highly sensitive plant, very dangerous, high level of security. You would never enter the plant. I mean, let's be serious.
Okay. Got it. And and this argument I will take for my last point. I have 2 more. Okay,
I agree with that.
I have 2 more before going into what the people say. I think you paid all of them because they are more on your side at the moment. Anyway, I mean, at the moment, let's be on the industrial side, right? So let's be more think about the industrial companies. What happened today if they develop a new product, or if they want to produce it right now, or if they have to change their production line for whatever reason, because they go from B5 vitamins to B6 to B1 or whatever, then they have to change even the wastewater treatment system, which costs them a lot of money, and which is a lot of more money, time, because they have to invest. They have to, have to build. They have to have all the documents. They have to have the approvals, and so on and so on. It's a huge, enormous effort to change or to adapt a new product line or to change a product line for them if they want to have something else. Think about that. They would have something centralized and they could start directly. They could save so much money and they could speed up this process, and then they would pay the centralized system, and we wouldn't pay, you and I, we wouldn't pay any more for our wastewater. Can you believe that? So this is something where I would like to get the money out of this, because
I can believe
that
that
directly.
I can't believe that, and I don't want that. I really don't want that. I want to pay for my wastewater.
And now
water has a value. Water should always have a price. I mean, I really don't agree with that one.
Yeah, but the point is that they can pay more, even more, because they want to get their production done. So that means they could subsidize you. I mean, we are paying for this, yeah, but there are countries in the world which are not paying anything for the water and the wastewater.
I was in Italy for Water for All with the UN charity 10 years ago, and I interviewed people who were having water for the first time in their life, which was clean water, and they were paying for that water, and they were glad and happy to pay for that water. So that's really a point where I think I strongly disagree. You should always pay for water. Water is probably the most precious thing.
I'm not saying for water. I'm talking about the wastewater, that someone is taking care about more wastewater. And let's say let's pay for that, but then take the money we have and put it into a new innovation. And now I come to my final point, and I want to answer the question. You are saying 2 hours, highly toxic, something. I will give you a very simple example to tell you what I mean, because the scenario what I describe is already given. It's already given. One, and now it comes to the point, one of the largest wastewater treatment plants we have here in Europe is a chemical park, BASF, in Ludwigshafen. I give you just some numbers. The wastewater treatment plant of this facility is one of the biggest in Europe and is treating around 3 million equivalent. So that means that we are talking about 100 million cubic meters wastewater a year from their production, plus another 20 million cubic meter from the cities nearby, Ludwigshafen, Frankenthal, and so on, right? They upgraded their plant from 2012 to 2016, and their energy efficiency was going up by 28% due to some things they did. Same time, they saved 3 million yearly on cost for this. Same time, they reduced 18,000 tons CO2, on this. And every year, this plant can treat 400,000 tons of sludge. And this is exactly what I mean. There you have a facility. Which can do both. And that's a perfect example what I describe in my scenario to put everything together.
Okay, I still strongly disagree with all of that. I'll take my last minute just to comment on that one, and then I propose you to switch to our viewers and to see what they think of all of that. But we could have a full other hour to debate how such an industrial plant is not one plant, but is like 20 or 25 plants which are located on the same place. Mm-hmm. Because if you look, I don't know now that exact one in Ludwigshafen, I don't know, I wasn't inside that one, but I've been on other BASF plants. And the way it's usually done is that every type of production has its specific, at least pre-treatment, and they only get together at the very end when it's for polishing steps. So I'd rather see that as some arguments in favor of what I am saying, which is you should treat them one by one, and once they're treated, reuse what you can, and what you cannot reuse, or what you don't want to reuse, or what you don't need to reuse, let's put it in the pot. But I think here we are not going to agree. So
Okay, but
suppose you-
let me answer this, because I have still one joker.
okay.
I done one joker in my pocket.
Do you want
Which
the
I
joker?
would bring. Yes, I want to bring the joker right now.
Joker card.
Last one.
And then we will switch to our audience. It's very simple rules. I will give you one simple question, and you have 1 minute to answer. All right?
Okay.
Ready? Good.
Ready.
How do you think it is possible to turn wastewater into a resource with a municipal system as it currently exists, with an investment backlog of several billion and completely undersized plans that are influenced by political motivation and decisions? Time is running.
I don't need 1 minute. I really don't need 1 minute. I can tell you, it's not happening. It's simply not happening. And I tell you, we agree on that one. We agree that the existing municipal plans are not ideally equipped. And even there might be different realities. Because if you take one of these advanced plants we were discussing by our episode 1, who treat micropollutants, there's not much more to do at the outlets to reuse it. But still, we agree on that one. It's not the best way to do it. And that's why you shall be reusing locally. And I'm not going to waste another 25 seconds because really, we agree here.
But I haven't heard any solution. I haven't heard any other solution as keep it as it is. And I think the challenge is
not at all keep it as it is. It is
the challenge we have. It will not be solved with the current system we have. Full stop. Right?
Okay. Let me start by that comment, which answers very good.
Oh no, not Rick. Not Rick.
A comment from Rick who says,
come on.
Getting more frequent and longer in Europe and elsewhere, would it not be smarter to treat and reuse locally? So see, we are not staying on the status quo. We are saying that we could be going much more locally. So see, let's agree on that, Björn. Let's agree the current system is not optimal. But on the long run, the right solution is to be local and to retreat, right?
Yeah, but what he's saying with droughts getting more frequent, that means we are having more the water scarcity. And I think what he's talking about is about Southern Europe, Italy, France, Greece, which are more and more affected by this. But also there's another.
Which part of, actually, it's not Rick's comment, just an add-on to what you just said, which is the part of Europe which is facing the most droughts? It is Flanders in Belgium.
Oh, really?
So
I never heard that.
Let's be fully transparent with you. I didn't know either. I had the chance to interview Jacob Bossar from Bossack. His interview is going to pop up in my podcast in 2 or 3 weeks from now, and he shared that data. And actually, I checked, and he's right. So just to say, the droughts happen even when you don't expect them. And what Rick is saying here is basically, if we don't reuse, we have a problem. We are living on credit. That cannot just be a solution for forever. And I think you wouldn't disagree on that one.
No, it's right. He's somehow a little bit right. But I'm saying this only because I like Rick.
Now, here we have a phone system network, which is proposing us kind of a compromise. And you were mentioning, Rick, that was his prediction that we will end with a compromise, but I'm not going to compromise on that one. So what Found Systems Network is saying is that it seems like Arzignano in Italy, which offers an example of a middle ground, they have constructed a treatment facility dedicated to leather tanneries, which are in turn clustered together. So basically, that's what I was saying with BASF. It's that today in industrial plants, you will have individual treatments or pre-treatments, call it as you wish. And at some point, they come together, and there might be, for instance, on the sludge line, maybe some synergies. I don't know. What I know for sure is that on the water line, there's limited synergies.
Which is true, but let's say, a little bit the conclusion for today's session, right? Before we ending the session, I think we have still some minutes left, and we should answer some questions or at least bring some comments into this here. I think with a given system, we will not meet the challenges we are facing actually in our 21st century. I give you a couple of examples, right? And we are not able to handle these at the moment. And with it, I was shocked with the number of 70 billion investment delay just in Germany. And I think it is the same in other countries. And this is somehow incredible. And I think if we really want to meet the challenges, if we want to overcome the challenges, something has to be happen. Whether it is a centralized system, a decentralized, a mixed, whatever, but we have to take the challenge and we have to invest in that. I can't believe that we have still issues with micropollutants. I can't believe that anymore.
What you're saying is very interesting. Like always, Björn, because it's not because we're fighting that I don't recognize that. Often you say quite interesting stuff. So
thank you. The first time that you say something nice about me.
Yeah. I think 50 minutes in, I'm allowed to be a bit nicer to you. But when you see right now, I mean, COVID is an opportunity. There will be an investment wave. We will be investing in our infrastructure because that's the way to relaunch a bit the economy and to put everything in motion, and also to pay the debt and the outstanding debt we have to our systems, which we didn't invest for 30 or 40 years. What I am saying, and it's not that different from what you say, is that it is an opportunity to leapfrog all of that, to say, hey, let's forget the legacy. Let's move directly to tomorrow's world and to go directly to the solution that's going to help us on the long run. And maybe it's your weird stuff of making all the water disappear and pop out at four or five different places in the country in huge plants. I'm pretty sure it's not. But maybe it's also the approach I'm defending here, which is to say, let's do very, very little loops everywhere. And I think at best, what I can find in the chat is people saying that we should go to a compromise with centralized as a must in some cases, but in other places, decentralized if it's the only cost-effective model, like Juan Pablo Camezana is saying here. But most of the time, I'm sorry, Björn, but people are more on my decentralized end. I'm not saying that people are always right, but here...
Yeah, but I got the point, and what I have seen is, but that you have very weak arguments against my ones. I mean, you're just saying leave it as it is, just invest in that. I mean, that's what he said. But I want to highlight one thing I have read. It's from Apostolos Kaldis, right? He's saying, taking into account population growth. That's an interesting thing, because in the beginning, in my statement, I said very clear. I took the example of Berlin. Right? I took the example of Berlin. There we have 3 million, and meanwhile we have 550,000 wastewater daily to treat. People, yes, you're totally right. I mean, we have an increase of our population as well. The people are coming from the land back into the cities. This will also really affect the municipalities who are more on landscape, which are on the other side, the municipalities which are given somehow in the cities. They are fine. Maybe they are getting more water and they are getting more money. But let's say it will affect definitely the municipalities, especially the smaller ones, who are somewhere in the landscape. And at least we should consider putting some municipalities together. That at least would make sense to save some costs here, right?
Yeah, maybe. But
said,
here, I mean,
oh, come on, it was close. That was close.
Look at that argument from Sheldon. Young actually saying that one major change to a locality can totally upset a local municipality. And that is what I'm saying from the beginning, is that you cannot just have one change. I mean, if you mix everything together, you're mixing the risk. You're bringing all the risk together. What I'm saying is that it's much more sturdy to be distributed in all the places. I mean, it's like you have, let's take a metaphor. You have money in the bank. Would you put all your money on one horse, or would you try to invest?
Of course not. Of course not.
See, so that's a bit what I'm saying here, is that we should be investing in many. I mean, we are building the redundancy without the drawbacks of redundancy. We don't have to have plants which are sitting next to another and the second is not working. We have a bit everywhere some redundancy in the system, and if one very small thing in that system breaks down, well, it's not a big issue because all the rest is still functional. And that is what's missing. Imagine one of your major plants breaks down. I'm sorry because I have to swear a bit, but we're in deep shit. And
no, but actually it's not. Because it's not an argument. Because if something goes wrong in my municipality where I'm connected to, nothing will happen because it will flood it just to the river, right? There is no redundancy, so I can't get this argument. If I would have a bigger facility, I could at least foresee, I could at least buffer, I could at least have something. But let's say our local municipality for my small city, which is, I don't know, 50,000 people, right? They don't have anything in terms of emergency. What happened then is that they just flooded to the river. That is the emergency case. If you would have a bigger facility where you also treat industrial wastewater treatment, then you have also the capabilities to buffer or to at least to treat it in a different way before going back into the river.
No, Björn, what you're saying is that, there's a hotel. You want to have a room, but you say, if I rent only a room, there's a risk that the room is already taken, so I'm going to book inside the hotel. But then maybe the hotel is already booked, so let's go to Booking. Booking has several hotels, so I have this redundancy because I can book my room in many different hotels in the same city. But then there's Trivago who comes and says, hey, I do an upper platform, which takes Booking and Hotel.com and all the other ones. And then someone at some point is going to say, hey, I take above the level of Trivago, so you can compare. There's no end to that reasoning. There's no end. You can always grow bigger and bigger and bigger and say, hey, it's still not big enough. But we're not gonna agree on that one. I saw here an interesting conversation between Bergman North America, which is saying if you put industrial wastewater into a municipal treatment plant, then the society is paying for treating this water, but it is not participating in the earnings of the industry. To which, and you're going to like the answer, Rick answered by saying that even though he agrees, you can have automated detection of pollution and bill industry that way. This is not a method that will work of society. What's interesting here, what I found interesting in that exchange is that it highlights something, is that the better you monitor and detect stuff, and the more you can automate and leverage, sorry for the buzzwords, IoT and I mean, cloud, automation, machine learning, artificial intelligence. If you leverage all of that, you don't need your macro plans to have this scale effect, which I don't believe exists, because you will have locally your little brains, which are really acting on whatever they detect. So maybe your solution is right in 2021. What I'm saying is that I'm absolutely sure that my solution is the right one in 2030. You want to be future-proof?
Let's say to give you just one sentence about the argument here about Bergman and Rick Segers. I don't want to treat the wastewater from the industrials in the municipalities. I would do it other way around. And then the industrial are paying for the municipalities and not the other way around. So that would be my just final sentences. And I think we are close. We have 3 minutes left. We are coming to the conclusion. I don't have any joker card left.
So while we're going and heading towards the conclusion, let me also give a chance here to people. If there's one topic which you think we should dive much deeper, just put it in the chat, because we have lots of ideas for our sequel episodes, but you never know. Maybe there's one consensus here which goes much deeper. And actually, I'm thinking of that because when I read that, we mentioned innovation. We mentioned the water industry to be sometimes a bit conservative. It's not... that's maybe the only part where we fully agreed during that conversation. So maybe we have to think of the system to be a bit more innovative, because maybe all my arguments are wrong and maybe all your arguments are right, and we're never going to test it, so we never know. And maybe the opposite, and we're never going to test it neither, and we're never going to know. So how do we move that industry forward? That's a bit also the question here. So many additional comments. I love that one, but it's mean, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Sorry, Björn.
No, but perfect. I think the conclusion is at least that we agree that we see current system we have actually the challenges we are facing we are not able to handle, and so that means we have different ways how we can do this. This was just one way to put onto the spotlight. I think there are different other ways, different other opinions as well, but at least we are facing, or let's say we have a lack of time. right? Because the issues we are faced with are becoming more and more, and we should stop talking and start doing something, right? And I think the idea of this is at least to bring this onto the ground, to put it on the table, at least to discuss something, to shake a little bit the topic, to shake the people, to say, hey, here's something, here's an idea. Either you agree or not, doesn't matter, right? But at least we are debating on a topic which is important from our perspective. And I think we all agree that this was an important topic.
Well, it is an important topic. I'm going to make you a compilation from all the comments from Sheldon Young and send it to you because, I mean, next time, Sheldon, write my arguments. Yours are better than mine. So,
but that's not difficult, right? I mean, your arguments are always
right. Come on. Just one last, and then I'm having a look at the watch, and then we have to stop for today. That one from Carol, which is highlighted. One other issue, the wastewater workforce is aging. It's very important to make sure that the industry overall can help recruit and train young people for a new generation of wastewater operators. I would add here to the comment, young people, but also all kind of people, in the sense that, it's a topic which is still close to my heart. We have 83% of men in that industry. And at some point, if you want to tap in the full pool of talents, you have to do something to have, I don't know if we reach 50-50, but at least to drive everyone at the table. And that's why if you have decentralized treatments, just take everyone down the alley, show them how it works, and they're going to like the industry. Not restarting the debate here, Björn, because I'm sure you agree on that one. If we move the awareness forward for the industry, we all win. So
exactly.
We had really, really, really a lot of fascinating interactions and in the chat. If you want to follow up on the topic, something which I think is important to mention, neither Björn nor me are extremists. We have here to defend an opinion. We got some messages last time, like, hey, you're fully right and that guy is fully wrong. And the arguments are absolutely true. But now on the rational, we could find a common ground between us, I guess. But we are willing to continue that discussion. So if you have additional stuff that you want to pour in, just drop us a message, contact Björn or me on LinkedIn. And I think it's the point in time where I say, let's see what we will have to discuss and to fight on next time, Björn. When is next time?
I would appreciate. Yeah, we have a 4 weeks, schedule. So let's say in 4 weeks from now, we will have our next session. Topic is not decided. So thanks everybody for joining. Thanks everybody for bringing their input into this chat. It was amazing to see how many people just put their mind onto this. If you think you have a cool topic you want to have that this will be discussed, just drop us a mail, as already Antoine mentioned. If you want to connect with us, contact us, like us, whatever we do, or just send us a request. We're always happy to be there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you again, Antoine.
I'm also looking forward to debating with you. And just one last question to you. It was our first time on YouTube. So if in the chat you think that was a cool experiment, we will redo it on YouTube, just because LinkedIn is still not helping us and allowing us to do it live on LinkedIn. And because last time we reached the limit of Zoom, so we had people that couldn't enter the room because we were too many in that room. And we thought, I think we're also live on Facebook today, but I would be wondering that anyone is on Facebook, or at least no one dropped a message in the chat from Facebook. So if you like the format, or if you hate the format, if there's something you like with the Joker card, which is a new element, just tell us, and we'll be glad to take some feedback. And with that very long sentence, we are 3 minutes over time, and I'm really sorry for that, because we have a schedule and we usually follow the schedule. So thanks everyone. Thanks for being there. Thank you, Björn. And
thank you, Antoine.
See you soon.
See you soon. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.
Are you tired of biased presentations that show you only one side of a story? Do you want to go to the bottom of all the hot water and wastewater challenges? Every month, Björn and Antoine take sides and fight over a topic. They might be over the top, You may even disagree with one or both of them, but you'll always have a chance to be vocal about it. In the end, one thing is certain. They will light a topic from every angle to make sure it is in plain sight for everyone. Are you ready to rumble? It's time for